ladies and gentlemen. I know after Sunday night's rant, the rat exposure closure of it all, I knew that there were going to be some fans thinking I jumped out the window too soon on Cory in America. But you have to understand, me being a true analyst of this game, I can tell when someone is showcasing the same propensity, the same tendencies to be just like Kyle and Alyssa once were. And quite frankly, Cory has less of an excuse to repeat the same mistakes because he was able to see what happened to Kyle for doing the same things. That's why I give him less leeway. And when you got people out here trying to say this guy is Cory Giesling, you got people out here trying to say Cory, if he wins, it's one of the best games ever. When you got people creating excuses for him utilizing these tactics by saying, his favorite player is Kevin from BB Can 10. Kevin is another player who weaponized an all-white alliance to target black people based off unsubstantiated paranoia. Understand here, if people create that excuse to justify what Cory is doing, they're just further telling you they saw nothing wrong with Kevin's game, and that should show you what's really going on behind what they are trying to say or convey. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the 17th rant of the season, entitled Coming Home to Roost. And boy, oh boy, America and Cory, their game has been exposed to the point where I can create the argument they're in the worst position currently. I think Cory is slightly above America on the totem pole, but that's only because of the work he did prior to America hurting his game. In this rant, we're going to discuss in borderline deep dive fashion, in this live feeds update, we're going to explain how America and Cory found themselves here. We're going to explain why Cameron and Red have turned their backs on America and Cory off the back of what America was trying to essentially force Cory into doing. We're going to talk about how Felicia has lost her footing in this game because she decided to throw Cirie under the bus to Jared. We're going to talk about how Jared, once again, the man who gets no credit online for his great game, is once again on the path to getting his way for another week in a row. Remember how on Sunday night I said Jag was most likely to stay over Blue, but I told you all I had no preference who stayed? That was me being a savvy veteran knowing Cirie is capable of flipping it back or keeping the flip on. But what I respect is the fact that Jared always understood his game, and he always understood what was best for his game. I called it early that time. But understand here, Coach, we got to discuss that. We have to discuss Izzy versus Red. We have to discuss the Legend 25 meeting. We have to discuss Cirie, Izzy, and Jared burying Cory's game, calling him a know-it-all who thinks he had the game won already. Exactly what I said to you all days ago. It's crazy. It's almost as if I'm working for Fly on the Wall myself. Understand, we got to discuss it all here exclusively at Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. Kick your feet up, get yourself a cold beverage, because this rant you're not going to want to miss, because I'm going to hold all the people who need to be held accountable. And we're going to do a little bit of gloating because there were a lot of people who thought I was wrong when all along, once again, my predictions are spot on. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the critically acclaimed Pop the Trunk Podcast Hall of Fame, Recency Bias Radio, and I'm, of course, your humble host, Dave Smith, and this is where no one is safe from criticism. In this 17th rant entitled Coming Home to Roost, we have to break it down. We have to break down it all in order, ladies and gentlemen, because I know where the skeletons truly lie in the closet. I know where the bodies truly are buried, and because I was the one with the courage of my conviction to tell you all before anyone else was willing to that Cory was allowing America to ruin his game. She brings disaster to everyone she comes into contact with. And this is the funniest part. Cameron is on to her because Cameron, listen, I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to justify anything that's ever come out of Cameron's mouth in that house. I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to justify anything Cameron has done in that house. But I like to stick to the strategy. And see, what a lot of people do is they are selective with the stuff outside of the game they want to really pontificate on or focus on. When it comes to Jared, everyone wants to bring up stuff that has nothing to do with gameplay because they don't like the fact his game is good. When it comes to Cameron, the same people who said he was offensive the first week of this game when Reilly was HOH, they have turned themselves into Cameron fans, then turned on him again. Because you got to understand, I said this to y'all on Sunday, America would have never thrown that HOH to Cameron if she thought he would use it on getting out Jag or Blue. She thought Cameron was going to take a shot at Cirie, Felicia, or Izzy. And towards the end of this rant, we're going to get into how America, she lost her head so much, Cory is evacuated. Cory has turned on her. Now, some of this could be posturing. Some of this could be gameplay because, in my opinion, Cory still kind of does simp for the girl. But, and you see him in the thumbnail, he was smirking when she lost her head. Understand that. I'm going to start calling her Applebee's because everything she does is low budget. Oh, yeah, we're cooking her. Don't worry. Oh, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I haven't even shown y'all my final form. You feel me? I feel like Golden Frieza right now. Understand, that's where I'm rocking purple. No, but seriously though, coach, let's really talk about it. So, the way this week, because we're going to start from Sunday night on to today. Today is Wednesday. We're going to get you all caught up on what's really going on here. So understand, Sunday night, I deliver that rant. I deliver it confidently, especially coming off of the edit of the episode, which, in my opinion, was production trying their best to give America and Cory a 50% chance of getting that overpowered twist. When people saw that, no one thought that was unfair because they were rooting for America and Cory. But now on feeds, because people think Cirie won the twist, now they're saying it's overpowered the twist. Now they're saying the game is 100% rigged. So once again, if it's rigged for your fave, you're cool. If it's rigged for someone else, you're not cool. Listen, at least I keep the same energy, right? At least I look at this from the perspective of, hey, there are vets of the past that have always had certain things given to them. Why the minute there's a vet who is black that's actually good, not a Davon, do people have such a problem with it? These people didn't have the same problem with Davon when she was setting the black woman archetype back by being a bad strategist. Now all of a sudden when we have an elite one who deserves to come back, now everybody is brought to pause. Pay attention to that too, sisters. This is why I tried my best to not victimize black women and instead speak on the greatness of black women, prop up the great strategists that represent black women, because that is what young black girls should see, black excellence. That's just my honest opinion, and that's something people ain't gonna tell you either, because deep down, they don't want what's really best for you, because they're trying to tell you to turn on the brother. And if you turn on the brother, you're gonna be even less protected than you were before. So, understand that dichotomy here. So, you all know that America has been trying to basically pounce on Cory all week. I mean, she's been doing this since last week, to be fair, but she stepped her game up more. Now, I can't confirm nor deny if it was Jared and Blue that hid the condom box, but Condom Gate began off the back of America trying to force herself on Cory. Now, understand, if the gender roles were reversed here, everyone would admit America is a weirdo. But because she thinks Applebee's is fancy, and because she's borderline attractive to a lot of these stands, they allow her to get away with a lot more than they would allow Jared to get away with Blue, or vice versa, Blue to get away with Jared. And we are noticing these things. Now, because of Condom Gate, because America is so thirsty to deflower Cory, because she's trying so hard to take his V card from him, or what she assumes is his, this has basically dragged Cory down, because every night he's no longer scheming, he's no longer gathering information. Instead, he's playing Sims 3 with America upstairs, or on the hammock, right? And because he's playing Sims 3 instead of playing Big Brother, he has really he's gone from the guy who had a tons of information that felt he was ahead of the game enough to say Cirie is not good, to say Jared isn't good, to pretty much fumbling his great position, allowing Matt this week, who is my most improved player this week, by the way. Matt has literally utilized his Sharingan to snatch your Infinity Stones this week, Cory, and that's the main reason why you want Matt gone before Blue. It's not because you love Blue so much, it's because you know if Matt sticks around any longer, you've lost your spot for good, coach. You're going to get David Ruffin yourself pretty soon. And see, that's the funniest part about it. Cirie, the woman you said was not good at this game, she showcased how overrated your game has been for 3 weeks now by in week 4 replacing you without even trying hard with Matt. So I must ask the question to all the people who said Cory was so great at this game, how great could he be to allow a girl who's thrown him under the bus now, 2-3 times? How great is this game if just because a girl flirts with him, he will throw away his great position? How good is this game if Matt, who is suffering from hearing disability, hearing loss, he's hearing impaired, if Matt can so easily do the same things that Cory was doing? How good is Cory really? Because Matt is at a huge disadvantage and he can still copycat Cory. If that don't show you that this is a strategy that isn't that difficult to pull off, all it requires you to do is be a rat. And see, here's the thing. I don't mind Matt for being a rat because he doesn't have a Reilly. For all things considered, Matt has nobody. Matt has less options. Matt has to do these things as a price of entry to replace Cory because Cory had to do these things to get in good with the same group. You notice I had no problem with Cory when he was doing it back then, so why would I have a problem with Matt doing it to replace Cory when Cory's the one thinking he's holier than thou, trying to tell us Cirie's too bad of a player to even know how to replace him when she's already done it. So understand, America forces herself on Cory in the have-not room. Very uncomfortable situation. Cory refuses to play ball with her. She tried everything she could. Oh, don't you want to move some things around? Cory wasn't going for it. And you know what, Cory? I respect you for that. If you know your mother's watching and you don't want to embarrass your family, no woman that you just met 3 weeks ago should have that power over you. Period. End of story. But with that said, you have to understand, because Cory does have some self-control, not all self-control, but some, it has allowed America to do just enough with him to hurt his game, but not do tons of damage to where Cory's completely blind. So I'll give Cory credit there, all right? But with that said, because America can't keep her mouth shut, because she loves to run to the Izzies of the world, because she loves to run to the Blues of the world, because she likes to run to the Mimis of the world and tell them how her and Cory hit it off so well, it's basically the worst kept secret in the house that America and Cory, while a condom box was stashed away and hidden, they out here essentially playing hide the handy up in the Humiliverse. But here's my thing. Isn't it the most ironic thing in the world that America is humiliating her own game within the Humiliverse? You gotta love it. But with that said though, Cameron was the one America has been flirting with. Remember, I alluded to this on Sunday night. Cameron has been giving America free drinks. He's had a lot of alcohol in his room. He lets her come in, drink as much wine she wants. She wants to drink some hard liquor, she can. Literally, I don't really think they give them much hard liquor, though, to be fair. Not in this era. But still, though, it's the idea that America flirts with a grown man, drinks all of his alcohol, and then expects he won't hold a grudge with her if she gets tipsy off his bill and then runs to another man trying to get him to smash. Listen, even outside of the strategy, this is poor social game. Don't drink his alcohol if you're just going to be tipsy and ready to get it in with another man. The disrespect is at a whole nother level. But this is me really breaking down the fourth wall and getting y'all to see America's mistakes. See, everyone just thinks men should accept any type of way women present themselves to men. They act as if we don't have a right to believe, I would like to know your body count because I don't want to wife someone that's been for the streets. People act like if a man has standards, he's automatically disrespectful. But a lady can have as many standards as she wants, and she can be promoted and propped up for it. Why is it such a double standard applied here? And at the end of the day, say whatever you want about Cameron, Cameron at least thinks highly enough of himself to go, oh, okay, America thinks she's going to play me and Cory against each other? We'll see about that. And see, that's the thing, America. Cameron walks up to you and Cory on the hammock, and he applies that pressure saying, hey, I'm hearing something about y'all in the have-not room getting close. I know that ain't what happened, is it? He said that in front of Cory's face and America's face. Now, America's trying to make it seem like Cameron is so uncomfortable. He makes her so uncomfortable. You're the one who threw HOH to him. You're the one who's been drinking his alcohol. You're the one who is too much of a coward to win the comp yourself to target black people because you wanted the white man to take the blame for it. Ooh. Ooh. See, the truth is, America, you've exposed yourself 7 ways to Sunday. And that Sunday night rant is aging like fine wine, the same fine wine you've been drinking in Cameron's HOH room trying to be a thought pocket. Oh, we're cooking her. We're cooking her. This is as if we are eating at Applebee's right now. But with that said, Coach, with that said, oh, and you know America would be at the bar. But with that said, and you know the tab would be in Cameron's name. But with that said, and you know the Uber would be paid for by Cory. But with that said, how sloppy of a player do you have to be to tell us in the edit all you care about is Cory? But then on the feeds, you try to delegate or better yet, split your attention span in terms of your own flirtatious ways. You try to split it amongst 4 men. And you think all these men are so stupid, they're never going to see you with another guy and go, she's playing me. You think all these dudes are just going to be like, well, we're all white guys, so, well, except Jag, of course. We're all white guys, so let's just let her play the way she wants. And literally, ever since Reilly has left, she has put on yoga pants every day since. Ask live feeders what they think about this. This just further proves my point that she was jealous of Reilly. She's flea market floater Reilly. Understand, the takes that I had before they became popular are what make me who I am, and they are why I want to give you all a true deep dive here and now. So, you gotta understand, because of America, she squandered the 5-person alliance Cameron wanted. Remember last week I told y'all, Cameron wanted alliance in principle with Red, with Cory, with America, and with Bowie Jane. Because of that, Cameron was okay with targeting Jag or Blue this week because they're not included in his late game plans. Mimi isn't included in his late game plans. So for him, he's looking at this as a situation where, okay, I'm going to play ball. Because you got to understand, the Legend 25 Alliance is the main reason why he's playing ball. And this, once again, is kudos to Felicia and Cirie for pushing that one alliance. I'm going to leave that up there so y'all don't forget how things are shaking out here. But you got to understand, because of America's sloppy gameplay, she made it easier for Cameron to not want Cory or America in his late game plans. This was a huge mistake on her part, because up until then, her and Cory were in a good position, good enough to throw the HOH and think their game wouldn't get found out. But you got to understand, because they threw it to Cameron, because they assumed Cameron would do the dirty work, that's why they were so alone on the outskirts of the game for so long, believing Cameron would handle the rest. That's part of the inner cockiness of those players. They lack the hustle and motivation to continue doing the things they had been doing. Now, I've been the one telling y'all America was overrated from the get-go, so I'm happy she's being exposed. But Cory could have easily avoided this if he wasn't such a simp. And this, once again, is a conversation no one's willing to have with me. So, Cory, I think this was after the veto, it was after the veto ceremony on Monday. Cory goes up to Mimi. He essentially tells her, hey, Cameron's jealous of me. Now, in this same conversation, he's willing to admit Cameron is jealous of him over America, but he's also unwilling to ever target Cameron. But by you saying that Cameron's jealous of you, albeit being unwilling to ever target him, number one, you're justifying why America is flirting with another man because you're too scared, you're too chicken-ish to do anything about it, and that's why it's coming home to roost for you. But that's neither here nor there. Understand, Coach, if you really cared about this girl, you would allow this dude to keep trying to impose himself upon her. You would take it to an offense, and you would take him out to put your flag on the ground and say, that's mine. So, you're unwilling to play ball with her when she's literally throwing at you. You're unwilling to defend her honor in front of another man who's being quite disrespectful towards her, but she's also being disrespectful towards you, and that's why that man has the opportunity to be disrespectful towards her. Let's not forget this. Accountability is a two-way street, but people act like only the man is in the wrong every time. When the truth is, America's been doing Cory wrong, Cameron wrong, Jag wrong, and Matt wrong since day one, because she was jealous of Matt's girl. She was jealous of Blue because Jag was applying makeup on her. And now she's clearly doing things to hurt Cory's game because she's flirting with Cameron. And Cameron was another person who really favored Reilly. So are you paying attention to what's going on here? America wanted to be the new Reilly. She wanted to be in Reilly's spot, but she can't handle that heat. Clearly, the minute she got in Reilly's spot, she immediately turned the game into Love Island, and that's how she turned into a target. Reilly didn't do none of this messy stuff. People said she was bad at the game. America does all these mistakes and messy stuff. People say she's good at the game, but she's what's the narrative that they're trying to get? Oh, she's misunderstood. She's a super fan. And see, Red don't like America as it is. Red was the main component. And see, this is why I'm glad I've always defended Red since the beginning, even when Kirsten lost her shit. And I'm going to be honest, Blue, your campaign is very bad. It's on Kirsten levels of bad, but we'll get there. Understand, Red does not like America at all. Red is the biggest obstacle in why Cameron couldn't get that 5 to lock in with each other. See, Red don't got no problem with Matt. He don't really trust Cory as much as he can throw him, and they're starting to lose trust in Bowie Jane, which Cirie deserves credit for, but we'll get there. So you gotta understand, Cory tells Mimi this information, but Mimi runs it to Cirie that Cory and Cameron are going at it. Cameron kind of likes America, but because of this, Mimi doesn't really believe Cameron would ever target America. So that's important information to know, because this pushes Cirie down a specific path as well when she has her conversation later with Red. But Red 100% doesn't like America. Matt doesn't like America. I told y'all Reilly told him never to trust Cameron, never to trust Cory, never to trust America. So Matt, he's more so right now, even though he's playing both sides kind of, he's more so leaning towards Cirie's side. So that's important to notice as well. So understand, Matt has fully replaced Cory and taken his Infinity Stones. But no one is giving Matt the same credit, because Matt, he actually is courageous enough to say Taylor used Monty. And I commend you for that, Matt. At least you was willing to tell the truth. I know people don't like hearing the truth in this community, but that's why a lot of them don't like me. I got to respect it. But it's just funny how the minute he says something about Taylor, now all of a sudden y'all willing to admit he's problematic. But before then, y'all let him slide for saying the B word twice, but didn't let Jarrett slide for saying female once. But that's put to the side. I gotta cook, because you gotta understand, a lot of these people don't make no sense. So Cory is so rattled by Cameron, but he doesn't want Cameron to go because he views Cameron as his only true shield, because even Cory knows for certain players it might behoove them to keep Red around longer than him, because at least Red was in the professors from the start. At least Red has always had a bed in that room next to Cirie. He knows Red could cultivate and repair relationships better than even he can. Hence why, even though he told Jarrett earlier today, hey, I'm okay with Cameron leaving now before Red, a lot of that is based around the America factor. Understand, before this beef, this little love triangle commenced, because of America, Cory never wanted Cameron to go before Red. Now all of a sudden he does, but he doesn't want the narrative to be. It's because he's being possessive of America. So that's why, even though he's throwing America softly under the bus, I still believe he's still loyal to her, because, hey, listen, a simp can't change its spots. But with that said, so later on in the day, in the backyard, Felicia approaches Jarrett, okay? Now, this conversation was quite compelling to me. In this conversation, Felicia basically told Jarrett she's losing trust in Cirie, because Cirie took a conversation that was in secret that Jag and Blue essentially had with, I believe, Felicia, Izzy, and Cirie. And she decided to go upstairs when they had one of their early meetings. I believe this was on Monday night or Monday afternoon. Cirie decided to go up there to the HOH and tell the Legend 25, everything that Jag and Blue said. Felicia believed that was not done, and she believed that wasn't the correct gameplay implementation. Felicia became a bit spooked by that, because she's like, okay, if Cirie will share that information so quickly to save her own neck, what will Cirie be willing to do to me at some point to save her own neck? Like, listen, I understand why Felicia would feel this way, but I gotta be completely unbiased, Mama Fee. I think you may have tarnished your late game win conditions now. Because Jarrett, being the proud son and loyal son he is, even if Jarrett and Cirie are butting heads right now over who should stay between Jag and Blue, Jarrett's still gonna run that information back to Cirie. So Jarrett and Cirie are in the storage room about 20 minutes, or not even that long. It's probably 5 minutes after he spoke to Felicia in the backyard, and he tells Cirie straight up, hey, you know Felicia's losing trust in you. Right? Felicia told me because of what you said to the 8 upstairs, she's losing trust in you. She believes that you'll also be the same one to do her dirty at some point. So Cirie's like, wow, she said that? Now, I give kudos to Cirie for believing her son and not believing he was coming up with that as some long-range ploy to save Blue. The fact that she could discern the difference between Jarrett maybe being a bit emotional to save his showmans, juxtaposed to him telling her something that really is looking out for her back. I truly believe this is part of the reason that makes Jarrett and Cirie, in my opinion, more likable than ED and Danny ever was. In my opinion, they're way more likable, right? But because they're both black, they don't get none of the same rope. And that's just what I noticed, and that's what a lot of people notice, right? Because I remember how much people loved ED and Danny. I remember that back in the day. Because remember, my first ever season was BB6. BB8 was probably my second ever season watching feeds from start to finish. I remember the narratives. Understand that. And because I remember the narratives, I don't allow these people to act brand new now just because the terrain suggests they can be. No. I'm going to remember the score. So, Jared tells Cirie about how Felicia now views her. So now Cirie, she kind of is refusing to tell Felicia too much, right? Now, Felicia has these moments later on in the night where they have a mini meeting and then they have a bigger meeting. We'll get to the red of it all, but understand, Cirie refuses to tell Felicia her real reasons for being mad. Cirie on the fly created an excuse that the reason why she's mad is because Red and Cameron are currently targeting the players on the outskirts of Cirie, Izzy, and Felicia. That way, they are more easy to get out the game. Currently, there are too many numbers for you to take a shot at one of them and expect to get one of them out. Unless you nominate them both at the same time, a Cirie next to a Izzy, a Cirie next to a Felicia, a Izzy next to a Felicia. So, because Cameron was unwilling to make that move this week, believing, oh man, that would be catastrophic for his game. Understand, this is 1 week away from Cirie. You have to play this a bit safe in week 4 just to make sure you aren't the overwhelming target heading into week 5. And I got to give Cameron credit because he did these things, because he was willing to abandon America and Cory. I do believe there's a shot he can still make Cirie here. I don't believe it's set in stone anymore that Red or Cameron definitely go home. I think if America and Cory keep this up, they can talk themselves into being easy backdoor targets in case Cameron comes off the block. And then in that scenario, honestly, I think you take out America before Red. I'm being honest with you, you know? I think that's the play because I think Red is more loyal to the black players than America ever would be. Plus, Red don't like America, and that should give him bonus or brownie points with that side. That's just my take on it. But I think they trust Red more than Bowie Jane. But that brings me to Red. So, well, Cirie speaks to Mimi first, and then she has that information. But I really commend Cirie because when she spoke to Red alone, this was after she already knew Felicia was subtly turning on her. For her to keep her game head on, for her to not lose her composure, for her to have that conversation with Red to really get down to the central crux of why he has it out for Izzy so bad. So then Red tells her, hey, I'm hearing from other people that Izzy's going around this house asking people why or if Red plans to essentially target her next week. Now, this was, of course, leaked by Matt. I believe it was Matt who leaked this 100%. Now, Cory could have also leaked it too, but I believe Matt leaked it first. And I think this is once again another reason why Matt is gaining ground, why he's snatching Cory's spot in that alliance, and why Matt is the one, honestly, I think that's the smarter guy to take further. Cory, a lot of those times down the stretch benefit his skill set, his archetype. Replace him with Matt, you just increase your own win conditions if you're Cirie. Fantastic gameplay, 100%. And if Cory fans have any problem with Matt, they should have a problem with Cory, and that forces their hand into not even bashing Matt because they can't afford to. That's what makes all of this even more poetic. Understand, it's not lost on me. Yeah, I made sure this rant would be good. Just hear me out here. So Cirie speaks to Red. Now, the greatness about Cirie is, right, Red is the one with the information believing he can be on the offensive with Izzy. Everyone knows Cirie is close to Izzy. Now, Cirie has been fishing to find out if she would be a target, but by doing that, she's kind of trying to see if Izzy's the target. When she does talk to Red, she somehow triangulates and circumvents the issue by bringing up how, well, she's been hearing stuff too. And understand, when she mentioned the stuff she was hearing, this completely gasped someone like Red, because you got to understand, Red isn't the one pushing this all-white Final Five. It was Cameron. But at the time, I think Cameron was pushing it, believing he had a shot with America. I believe the minute Cameron realized America was playing him and her true loyalty was to Cory, Cameron started saying things differently. But it's important to really pinpoint it was Cirie's fantastic gameplay that pushed them towards betraying Cory and America fully, and here's why. When Cirie mentions to Red that she heard about the alliance of Red, Bowie Jane, Cameron, Cory, and America, Red was like, where'd you hear that from? And you see, you got to understand, for Red, he looks at what Izzy was doing as very sus, right? You're going around and you're asking people if I'll target you next week. We're supposed to all be Legend 25 strong. And from someone like Red's point of view, He looks at, because his son's name is Legend 25, the biggest reason why he wants people to believe he'll never come after Izzy next week is that alliance is named after my son. Y'all think I would want that to fail? This is the one alliance I want to work. So it's ironic to me. Cameron was all about Reilly being like a daughter to me. And now you have Red, another good old boy in the mix, basically saying because my son, because his namesake is part of this alliance, I'd never do y'all dirty. Now, come on now. You know I wouldn't do that to you. You know I wouldn't do that to you. So you got to understand, while I believe this is good strategy on Red's part to kind of debunk the theories, to kind of push down the paranoia a bit, it's not going to make that much of a difference because Izzy can't stand Cameron, and she knows Red would use veto on Cameron, so she always going to go for Red and Cameron. And I think vice versa, if Red wins HOH, he also likely would go for Izzy. But things are subject to change, just like the target of the week is, because it was Jag, and now it's becoming Blue. And heading into next week, Red right now is under an agreement that he would possibly nominate America in Blue initially. So this is also good because if this alliance keeps them noms the same and gets rid of America next to Blue, Jared's game went from everyone clowning him because he was losing Blue to now Jared kept Blue, Cory loses America, Matt replaces Cory, all of a sudden, coach, and now that Jared no longer trusts Cory no more, Jared has seen the light, and see, whose fault is this but yours, Cory? But I don't want to lose myself in the Cirie and Red of it all. Because Cirie brought up the 5-person alliance, Red basically tells her, listen, I was never down with that. And at the end of the day, we're more so focused on making the middle part of the game. So the only people who could have been around for those conversations were Bowie Jane or Matt. So he basically implies Cory and America weren't around for those conversations, which at the time kind of absolved Cory and America of taking the blame from Cirie's perspective. But wait, there's more. Because when Izzy eventually has her back and forth with Red, they come to some reconciliation. And this, of course, was before that they had the big Legend 25 meeting upstairs, right? But after they have the Legend 25 meeting and they hash things out, Bowie Jane comes in acting stupid. Cirie puts her on blast because Bowie Jane, she tries to play both sides too. She tries to run on over to the girls and bye-bye B-words and tell them, you know, Cameron and Red, every 3 hours, they got some new target. They got some new strategy, blah, 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 blah. Cirie brought that thing up in front of the 8. Well, Matt wasn't there upstairs at the time, but she brought it up in front of the 8, minus Matt. And when I tell you Bowie Jane was... she was like, well, I wasn't talking about any alliances or nothing. Shut up. You got cooked, coach. You got cooked. And see, normally I'd be like, Cirie, you got to chill out. You don't want Bowie coming after you if she somehow wins HOH. But deep down in my heart, I have a feeling Bowie, she despises Blue so much, that's not going to happen. She despises Jared so much, that's probably not going to happen. Also, Bowie Jane is in a position now where she has to lie to the group and say she's never trusted Cory since the beginning, when she has a final 2 with him that Jag knows about, who she wants to stay. And she's trying to convince the world that she doesn't trust America either. But they are, of course, with the floaters that were trying to work together a week or so ago, and Cirie found out about that because of Cory. So it's just funny how a lot of these players, they thought they had everything figured out, but a lot of these players ruined each other's games before they really got together. So now, in order to keep continuity with their game narrative, they have to keep pushing the narrative. They aren't close to the people they actually do want to work with. And this goes back to Cirie's strategic pressure. Her strategic pressure, knowing what to say in a very high tense moment, is truly something to behold. It's truly the game of a queen or a king. It truly is special. It truly is transcendent in its own right. And that's why I just wanted to document those things. So you got to understand, after the Legend 25 meeting, Bowie Jane, she never had her mic, so she had to run to go get her mic. Everyone else comes from upstairs, and they go to bed, basically. Bowie goes back upstairs, talks to Cameron alone. Cameron tells Bowie Jane in her face he doesn't believe she was the snake, right? And at the end of the day, this is great for Cirie, because Cirie mentioning that one alliance and covering for Matt in the process, because I do believe it was Matt who was the real culprit, maybe some Cory, but that's the thing. Red and Cameron don't want to believe Matt did that because they want to hold on to him and they want to basically dispose of Cory in America. So the best of both worlds happened here. Cirie was able to mend fences between Izzy and Red temporarily, all right, which should, if Red wins HOH, make sure they aren't the at least immediate target, so they can at least survive until Saturday. But also, another reason why this was fantastic gameplay is because she was able to take all of the heat off of Matt, and she was able to place it basically on Cory and America. Because if Cameron and Red refuse to blame Matt, if they refuse to blame Bowie, believing they need both of them, then they have no choice but to scapegoat Cory and America, because those are the only two members that were thought of being part of that five. So you have to understand that. Because Cirie applies strategic pressure at the right moment, now Cory and America have to be thrown under the bus by Cameron and Red to keep the narrative going that they're Legend 25 strong. And another great thing that I want to give Cirie credit for, including Mimi in the Legend 25 alliance, it allowed Mimi to be part of the inner circle of this week's strategic game. By Mimi being in the inner circle of the strategic game, it gave Mimi incentive to rat out Cory to Cirie. See, these little things make all the difference in a game, right? And it's important it is important that we as analysts speak on these small things, because what makes a great player is the small minutia things that if you're not watching feeds, you never get to really see in the edit. And what Cirie managed to do was magical. She took the paranoia off Izzy as being someone who's telling everyone's business. She took the paranoia off Matt, and that's why Matt told Cirie he also was in top 4 voting. Come on, Matt, I hope you won it now. I hope you or Cirie won it now, you know. But you got to understand that because she made sure Matt felt included by making sure he was in 2 out of the 3 majority alliance coming out of Felicia's HOH week. That's great. Because Reilly told someone like Matt to trust the Felicias, the Ciries of the world over the Corys, Americas, and Camerons. This also played a big role in this. Because she included Mimi in Legend 25. It allowed Mimi to be around to see how things are really building this week, so Mimi has a real clear picture of it. Understand, all of these things are important, and now you see why I wish Mimi would have got a better edit on Sunday. Because now if they start giving Mimi a good edit, it's going to be like, well, what changed? I'm explaining what changed. Mimi has been included in a serious alliance, albeit fake to certain members within it. At least half of the members of the 8 know it's fake. You know, Mimi, Izzy, Felicia, and Cirie, they know it's fake. Cameron, to some extent, knows it's fake, too, because he also was kind of pushing for a big move to be made next week. But now that he knows that them downstairs know that Cameron was pushing for this specific alliance, it's going to look bad on Red if he doesn't at least nominate one person out of that suspected alliance. And this is why I think Red is going to have to play ball a bit by nominating America next to a Blue next week. And that's if he wins. If he doesn't win, I think everyone target him and Cameron just about. Well, except Cory. Cory refuses to target Cameron. Cory right now is talking about, oh, I'll nominate Felicia. What did he say? Felicia next to, I think he said Felicia next to Red. He said someone, and that's what told me Cory's still playing anti-black. Why would you risk Felicia when she's the one who backdoored Hisam, who is your main target? So you don't even repay favors to the people who really got your back. So why should they allow you back in their inner circle after you've already shown them your true colors by hanging out with them Applebee's? See, this is why I'm saying to y'all, Cory got too big for his britches, and if he's not careful, he is going to get sent to the Shadow Realm quicker than Todd Bridges. You fella dig me, coach? And I rock with Todd Bridges. He played a great game on Celebrity Big Brother US Season 3. I liked him a lot more than Todrick, but I'm just saying that to prove a point. For real, for real. So, now Cameron and Red are basically against Cory and America, believing they were the ones who leaked the intel of that alliance. Now they can't afford to really work with them. They believe they're surplus to requirements. And for their games, they want to guarantee they make jury. So for them, they don't want to do anything from this point forward to tomorrow night that will compromise their games. That's important. Now, all day yesterday, feeds were up and down because of this invincibility power twist. For all things considered, I believe Matt, Jag, Cory, and Cirie were the ones chosen. Based off process of elimination, that's my guess. And I think America, a.k.a. Applebee's, I think she's so butthurt towards Cirie and them because she didn't get picked in the top 4 voting. I'm going to clown you something serious if we find out you weren't top 4 after production worked that hard in the edit to try to make you seem like a main character when you've literally been Wayfair the first 3 weeks of this game. Now all of a sudden, I'm fighting this hard for Cory, but I'm also going to possibly bust it open for Cameron. Hide that tape. Hide that tape. Come on, coach. Come on, coach. I'm just saying what y'all are thinking, man. It's repulsive to me. You know, and honestly, Cory, you deserve better, and I think that's why you're starting to really matriculate better. But you have been capitulating worse, so it's about time. So essentially, America, when feeds do return, after this big invincibility power twist is up, and feeds been down for 2 hours, feeds finally come back, and you got America on the hammock. It's the bottom part of this thumbnail. She's just going off on Izzy, Cirie, and Felicia, saying, they're running this house, and they expect us to be loyal to the 8. I'm not going to be loyal to the 8. I'm not going to go after Cameron, Red, or Bowie. That's doing their dirty work. I'm going to be anti-black and go for them. And you got all these people in the Paramount Plus live chat, yes, America, you're my hero. And I'm over here laughing like, so it's heroic to be anti-black now. Now do you see why I said this is the new age Kyle and Alyssa? See, you gotta understand. All these people trying to say, oh, Cory's looking for his Helena. He's looking for his Helena. Stop the nonsense here. All right? You can play the game without requiring a woman to get you to Final Four. All right? You don't have to copy every single facet of your favorite player's game. And honestly, if you think you have to do that to play well, maybe you're just not that confident in your own abilities. I got to be honest with you, right? And that's the funniest part. Kevin said he copied his game off Sir Anthony Douglas. Nothing about his game was similar to Sir Anthony Douglas. But Kevin got the credit and Anthony didn't when he played. Keep that in mind, too. So it gets to show you how the Jarrett-Cory dynamic is basically the Anthony-Kevin. You really got to look beyond the narratives people are trying to say. A lot of these America-Cory stands are becoming some of the most anti-black stands of all time right now just because they want to justify and bail out America for ruining Cory's game. You got to understand that. Right? And honestly, it's a laughing thing to me because a lot of them hid behind their Jarrett hate for so long, trying to convince us all, oh, we don't dislike all these black players. We just don't like Jarrett. Cirie hasn't said anything as problematic as Jarrett. They're hating on her. Cirie hasn't put 1 foot forward wrong. They're hating on her. In fact, Cory turned on Cirie first, said she was no good at this game. They're still hating on her. And why are they hating on her? They're hating on her because they believe production rigged a competition to Cirie. Ladies and gentlemen, the odds of Cirie winning that comp are not very high. Now, based off context clues of earlier in this on feeds today, it seems like Cory may have won it, which is not shocking to me because it's a secret comp, so he would go all out to win it. But it's the way Cory is so spooked on Jag that makes me think Cory may have never won it, right? Because if he really believes Jag won it, then he knows Jag could just save himself. That would be a waste of a week. Why not just push to get rid of Blue? Well, maybe he believes it's best to just burn it so they can get rid of Jag next week. Maybe that's the idea of that. But you got to understand, Jarrett has stood tall for Blue. You know, he has gotten no credit in the process of holding his ground with his mother, trying to get her to see, hey, listen, it's no real difference to me because we still have to win versus they have to win. But in Jarrett's mind, he does believe if Blue stays, it's just better for him because Jag is someone you just can't trust. Jag always has Jarrett's name in his mouth. And quite frankly, Jag, I don't really respect, and other black fans don't respect, how you try to use Ebonics, yo, what's up, homie? When you talk to the black guy, and then immediately when you're not talking to nobody black, the black scent disappears. I don't like that, bro. Just be yourself. You don't got to change who you are because you around a black dude. To me, that was weird. That was like a Mad TV skit gone wrong. It's just bizarre to me, especially when you're actively targeting a black guy, and you think the only way to placate to him to get him off your scent is to act like that? Okay, bro. But with that said, I don't really have a personal problem with Jag. I'm just speaking the truth here, especially since he might go home tomorrow night, all things considered. But this brings me to Blue. Horrible campaign. She goes to Felicia and Cirie. She's under the impression Felicia is Jarrett's mom, and she tells them both she would target Jarrett down the line. Stupid gameplay. She goes over to Cory, and she tells him, oh, if I win HOH next week, I'm after Cirie, Felicia, and Izzy. Stupid gameplay again there. And she thinks, oh, Cory's going to be down with this two showman's Final Four with me, Jared, him, and America. Well, how are you down with a two showman's Final Four if you're also telling the black women you're after Jared? Doesn't make any sense. And if you're really going to be about the two showman's Final Four, why don't you just tell the sisters when you talk to them, the elders, why don't you just tell them you're after someone like America? Why? Well, I guess she can't say that because she doesn't want to get back to America. Well, why can't you say you're after Cameron, who nominated you? I just don't understand the gameplay from Blue. The recruit is showing itself. But this is once again another example of how, last week she was playing pretty well because she was following what Jared was saying. The minute she goes rogue for what Jared says, her game gets worse. You notice a pattern here. When Jared is about to get his way, a third week in a row, y'all. He wanted Reilly gone. He wanted Hisam gone. He wanted Jag gone. Cirie is the one who wanted Hisam to stay, Reilly to stay, and Jag to stay. I think it's time we need to admit that even though Cirie is still playing the best game, Jared just might be playing the second best game, no matter how you feel about him personally. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I had to provide you all with a quick little power rankings, because this week has been quite impressive. It's been quite impressive. Because, after America lost her mind on the hammock last night, Cory's the first one to run up to Izzy and Jared and basically throw America under that magic school bus, trying to imply, I think I could still control her, though. And you got Jared saying, I still would prefer Matt staying before America. And you got Cory, he's Mr. Butthurt because he knows Matt has replaced him. So he's like, guys, I think Matt will be a bigger threat than America down the line. In what way? Matt is a recruit just like Blue Kim is. Matt is dealing with a handicap with all due respect. Also, Matt is not going to be this mental comp wizard in terms of memorizing dates the way you and America would be as superfans. Sorry, Cory, this little half step of throwing America under the bus but trying to subtly defend her to get Matt out before her, it's a joke ting. And why do you have all of these opinions on Matt, but you don't have these opinions on Cameron enough to nominate him yourself? Exposed. You only got a problem with Matt enough to want to target him because Matt's playing better than you now. Cameron's the one that's not playing better than you in your head. But in my opinion, Cameron also playing better than you right now because Cameron knows when and when not to play aggressively. Cameron knows when to keep people included, when not to. Right now, Cory, it feels like you don't really know when to calm it down. You don't know when to tell America, hey, we ain't kicking it tonight. We got to think about our games. You don't know when to put your foot down. And because of that, she's going to keep running all over you. And because of that, because you're incapable of defending her in front of Cameron, she talks so much about how Cameron is so overbearing and so uncomfortable. But imagine how Cory feels about you, America. You are Cameron to him. But once again, no one wants to defend Cory like this because in their minds they know he's ruined his game to the point where now he has made his bed with America and he has to keep laying in it and suffering in it. So you got fans that are mad at Cory for throwing America under the bus this morning. But what else was Cory supposed to do? It's as if these fans of Cory aren't real fans of him. They're just fans of the idea of what the showmans could represent. And to me, that's the true toxicity of it. Because if you claim to be a true fan of Cory, you should see the positivity in what he did to America today. Because it should be anyone but me. That's the game of Big Brother. But it's the idea that people think Cory should simp to the end of the world while his game crumbles. His game was in a much better position at its apex than America's game ever was. And people still want Cory to lie in that bed and allow America to drag him down. Understand that dichotomy, bro. His game is frozen in time ever since he's been with her. It's as if Medusa put him to stone. That's basically who America is to me. She's Applebee's Medusa. You can hashtag that one too. So what you got to understand is a lot of fans right now are rattled. They thought Jared was going to lose his girl and they thought Cory would keep his. Only for Cory's girl to ruin his game while Jared gets his way again by Blue staying. Also, Cirie somehow protected Izzy while also convincing Cameron and Red subconsciously and indirectly to trust Cory and America less. On top of that, Mimi is gaining real ingrounds and real inroads with her alliance. Mimi is brown sugar baby strong, and now Mimi is okay with getting rid of Jag because she spoke to Jared. Also, Mimi is threatened by Izzy's presence too because she sees Izzy is the only obstacle for Brown Sugar Babies to not make Final Four. So the drama's at an all-time high. Red's after America. America doesn't like Red. America's trying to tell Cory she don't like Cameron, but literally she almost busted it open for Cameron over Cory. Mimi don't like Izzy. Izzy don't like Mimi. Felicia, she just told Jared she don't trust Cirie. Now Cirie don't trust Felicia. Now Jared is getting his way. This is a chaotic season, coach. And I am honored and truly highly favored to be able to cover it for you all. So ladies and gentlemen, please give me your thoughts on the comment section below. Did you enjoy this live feeds update? Borderline deep dive. I made it real quick. I was constantly jumping around. Surely I probably missed some things that have happened. But for the most part, I've set you all up for success heading into Thursday night's eviction. Please don't forget to give me your thoughts. Please like this video. And of course, share it with all of the fans of Big Brother 25 that you rock with. But most importantly, I hope you all have enjoyed yourselves today here at the channel. And I hope you continue to come back for more. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night for another one. Until next time. America and Cory. Ooh, man, not only have you exposed yourselves, your fans are beginning to expose themselves too. So for all the issues they had with me for calling out the truth, now they can't have no problem with me because they exposed themselves to the world. So I'm not the real problem. It's probably you. See y'all tomorrow, and I'm out.